let's kick off this week's film breakdown with the wild finish in Dusseldorf. We'll go through the whole sequence of plays here on that last drive for the Rhine Fire. So to set the stage, the Galaxy have driven down, scored a touchdown, a go-ahead touchdown to go up by one. They missed the two-point conversion, which ends up kind of coming back to bite them here. But the Rhine Fire get the ball back with 12 seconds left, and Clark is on his own 31.5-yard line. And as a quarterback, you're thinking, I got one, maybe two shots to get down into field goal range here. The average football play takes about 6 seconds. So you're thinking at most I have two plays to get my kicker in range here. And this whole drive, we're going to watch the whole sequence because it's really savvy veteran quarterback play by Clark. So first of all, the ability to escape, buy time, find a completion for about a 15, 18-yard gain on the very first play. This is crucial. This is what sets up the next sequence of events. But this is a good job by Clark, escaping the pocket, finding his crossing route late, and a good job of the receiver getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. And this is where things start to get a little wild. The Rhine Fire take a timeout. First of all, let's just admire this crowd. What a great atmosphere for an ELF game. But it's 1st and 10 with 6 seconds left. The Rhine Fire are coming out of a timeout. The camera immediately cuts from this scene of a great crowd to Clark about to throw a ball. We got a ref standing right behind a tackle. What's going on? We got players, and you can even see coaches still walking off the field. And Clark is going to throw the game-winning touchdown. But hold everything. There's some flags, and we'll break this whole thing down.
Before snap, it was a false start by the offense. Also, during the play, the head coach of Frankfurt was in from the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. That penalty will be enforced. 50 yards automatic first down.
Let's walk through this series of events. So they call a false start, and they call unsportsmanlike on Frankfurt for the coach still being on the field. Now, both of these calls are right. Let's start with the Rhine Fire. You can certainly see it's a false start. Watch the receiver at the bottom of your screen. His right foot moves before the snap. That's a false start. The receivers on the left also aren't set. So, yeah, I got no problem with the false start call. The unsportsmanlike, I mean, if you look right here, everyone and their mother is out on the field. You even got, what is this, a camera guy up top on the field, equipment managers. You got players that aren't even in 5 yards out on the field. I'm sure the coach was out there as well. What's kind of confusing to me about this is it looks like the refs aren't even set. The ref is standing right behind the running back, and usually the refs will give the team a warning. They'll say, hey, coach, you got 10 seconds, or hey, coach, we're clearing the field. So I don't know if they did that, and Frankfurt just didn't pay attention. And so, look, they blew the whistle. And as soon as that whistle blows, the Rhine Fire have every right to snap the ball. And that's what they do. They do false start. So that's a good call. But so is the unsportsmanlike. And I heard, like I said, I heard a lot of people burying the refs after this game. I think they got both calls right. The false start would be a 5-yard penalty. It's a dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike is enforced after that false start call. So they got the call and the penalty right. I think what's confusing in this entire situation is the fact that they let this play run through, which actually ends up being, a touchdown that Clark throws. So false start, as soon as there's a false start, there should be an immediate whistle following it. The play shouldn't even be allowed to continue. And I think that's what was confusing with this whole situation was why did they let the play run through so long after a false start was called? So here's where I'm a little confused just as a fan watching, and maybe the league should explain this, but they mark off Even the announcer said, okay, so the 5-yard penalty will be enforced, and then the unsportsmanlike will be enforced. So essentially, it's a net gain of 10 yards for the Rhine Fire. I know, that's good math. I went to college. They mark off 15 yards here, and I think it should be 10. So maybe that's where they got it wrong. Again, I think the calls were right. I think there is certainly an unsportsmanlike on Frankfurt. There's certainly a false start on Rhine Fire. And maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? I just play quarterback. I'm not a ref. But it would be nice to get some sort of explanation on this. That's not what I want to focus on this play. I want to focus on the refs are taking their time, spotting the ball, talking through everything. And Clark walks over to his receivers. You can see them all huddled up here. And this is just, again, smart veteran quarterback play. He's going to look out and he's going to see, first of all, there's 6 seconds left, which is about how long it takes for a play to happen. The average play is about 6 seconds. Unless you get the ball out quick and you can maybe get out of bounds here and get in field goal range. Well, Frankfurt's obviously playing prevent like they're trying to stop a Hail Mary. Clark sees this. He sees a corner 15 yards off, so he's going to huddle up with his guys. And you can watch him. He'll kind of casually walk over. Hey, come over here, talk with me for a second. And I guarantee you what he's telling them right now is, hey, look, if he's still off, if this corner's off at the snap of the ball, I'm just going to throw it quick to the sideline. We're going to get out of bounds with a couple seconds here, but make sure you get out of bounds. Do not try and make a move. Do not take your time, right? I'm going to catch it, I'm going to throw it, and you better get your butt out of bounds. So they have a nice little huddle here, pre-snap. That's exactly what they do, right? Corner's backing off, everybody's backing off. They're playing a Hail Mary. Clark's just going to catch and throw here to the sideline. Really smart football IQ here. I mean, this is a 10, 15-yard pickup, 12-yard pickup to get them in field goal range. A quick pass like this, it only takes a few seconds off the clock. And that's what I mean. With a younger, inexperienced quarterback, this drive does not happen. This drive is 100% on Clark. You can say it was on the refs. Maybe they cheated Frankfurt out of 5 yards. Maybe that was the difference. I don't know. But the reality is that the Rhine Fire won the game, drove down the field, and ultimately Frankfurt allowed them to. Right? If they would have been playing a different coverage here, which I don't know why they weren't playing the sidelines, who knows what would have happened. But this is a really good job by the Rhine Fire and by Clark. Then their hero corner comes in. That's right, corner, and nails a game-winning field goal. How Barcelona had a fiesta against Stuttgart's defense on Saturday. What a beating they put on the Surge. And I could pull out a lot of clips from this game, and I just want to focus on one, and we'll do it real quick. Andy Meyer, their defensive coordinator for the Surge, he's no longer there. It was his first game not there, and you could tell. I could pick multiple clips from this game, but the defense here is running cover zero, which if you look, there's no deep safeties in the middle of the field. That's why it's called cover zero, right? No safeties, zero. They're going to play man coverage underneath it. You can see everybody's locked in on their man. But then I want you to focus at the top of your screen here. The Barcelona Dragons are running a common concept down close to the goal line. They're running a high-low. So Kyle Sweet's going to run or just like a hitch route, and then you're going to run a bang post behind it, basically just trying to get a high-low on the defenders. Now it's man, so you don't even really need to do a high-low, but I want you to watch the corner to the top is playing 3 yards outside of this receiver, and he's playing zone. He's reacting to Kyle Sweet on a hitch. So you got everybody on defense playing man coverage except for the corner at the top. And I doubt that Zach Edwards has ever thrown an easier touchdown in his life. Let's move right along to the Raiders-Centurions game. The Raiders absolutely destroyed the Centurions cover 2, and they did it out of empty a lot. And you'll see what I mean by empty is there's no running backs in the backfield with Sean Shelton, right? He's by himself. So you're going to get a concept that's commonly run in football. It's a high-low concept. It's a smash concept. So you're going to get a guy running to the flats. When he's condensed like this, it's going to be more of an out. When you run it from the outside, it will be more of a hitch. Then you're going to get a corner route by your number 2 receiver. And behind it, on the trip side, they're gonna run their number 3 receiver right down to the middle of the field. So it's cover 2 for the defense. So both of these safeties have a deep half, and these corners are responsible for the flats. All right. So the middle of the field is a good spot to attack, or this hole shot in between the safety and the corner right in here. What makes this play work here is Sean Shelton's eyes. So watch him as he stares down this play side safety, because he's the guy that's going to screw this play up. But again, whatever he does is kind of wrong. If he gets width, like he does here, in depth, we just want to come right back to the middle, hit that soft spot and cover 2. Right? If he doesn't get as much width, then we can read that corner for our high-low concept. You can see here on that out corner concept, that smash concept. But Sean Shelton, watch his eyes. He controls this boundary safety here with his eyes, looking to that corner. He even gets his hips and shoulders there, and then comes right back, throws it down the middle of the field for an easy touchdown. Let's watch this next play I have queued up. Again, just destroying the Centurions cover 2 with this middle of the field route here. And they're going to get to it a little bit differently, and I'll walk you through it here a little bit. So when we talk about receivers, the receiver closest to the sideline, furthest away from the quarterback, is called the number 1 receiver. So then we just work in from there with the number 1 receiver, the number 2 receiver, and the number 3 receiver. They're going to get creative here and run what's called a switch release, which means that number 3 is going to replace number 2, and number 2 is going to replace number 3. So watch how they release off the line here. All right, see the switch release here? So they're going to get to the middle of the field, but instead of getting to the middle of the field with the number 3 guy, they're going to get to the field with the number 2 guy. All this does is give another look for a defense, something else they have to sort out. And especially with a defense that likes to get hands-on receivers, that just means be physical with receivers. It's tougher for them to do that with these switch releases. So again, it's cover 2. Watch Sean Shelton control this boundary safety with his eyes. He's looking right the whole way because he's the guy you have to worry about. He's the one that's going to mess this play up. But watch him stare down his receiver to the boundary to try and pull the safety that way. Then he resets, comes back, throws to the middle of the field. Really nicely done. Now let's move on to the Hamburg-Berlin game. I love watching Hamburg because while it might not be flashy, while it might just be a lot of running game, they get really creative with the way they try and get their athletes the ball and how they utilize their good rushing attack to open things up on the outside. So here's the traditional RPO. RPO stands for run pass option, which is what it sounds like. You have the option to run or the option to pass. So you see Cisse here, right? He can give this ball or keep it. The way I know it's a run is because look at all the receivers. They're all blocking downfield. The offensive line is downfield blocking. This is a run all the way. Now he decides to keep it because he likes his numbers on the outside, right? They're going to hide their really good receiver, Gene Constance, out here in the wing. He's a smaller guy. They're trying to hide him a little bit, get him in space. And if you can get your outside linebacker or this nickel defender and this corner blocked up, it's pretty much him one-on-one versus safety. And when you have one of the best athletes in the entire league here, Hamburg will take that all day. But again, this is just really created by Hamburg's offense, lining Gene Constance up in a different spot than what he normally lines up in. And they're using defenses' quick reaction to their run game against them because they know that teams are preparing to stop the run when they play them. So they want to get teams reacting to come up on that run game and then get the ball on the perimeter to your best athletes. So they get inside the red zone and they call the same exact play. They just flip it. Now they have a 3-by-1 formation with a 3-by to the left side with Gene Constance lined up as a wing to that left side. And it's the same exact play. It's a little RPO, get the ball into your athlete's hands, 3-on-3. He goes in completely unscathed. This is really good play design and coaching by Hamburg.